June 2013, our son passed away. We had 3 companies on the go at that point. Things were going quite well. And so when you're an entrepreneur, your personal life is your business life. So you asked about a business struggle, but
it's a life struggle.
Yeah, it's a life struggle, which turns into a business struggle. And so for myself personally, I was in bed for about 9 months.
Hi, welcome to Sharing with Susan B, telling stories from the heart. We're looking to inspire, telling stories of struggle, vulnerability, and lessons learned. Hi, welcome. I'm Susan Blaine. I'm here with today's guests. Really fortunate to have Steve Cody here on the couch with me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Susan.
Those that don't know you, I'm going to give you a bit of background on Steve. He's the co-founder and CEO of Ruckify.com. It's an online marketplace where you can rent anything. Better Software Company, which is a franchise management system for franchise owners.
Yep.
That's the bettersoftwarecompany.com. We'll have those URLs so you guys can check that out. And about Steve, he's best known as, I think they call you a serial entrepreneur.
My wife calls it trouble. Yeah.
And you started over a dozen companies, and locally and nationally with over 300 million in sales, which is very impressive. It's a big number. I love your backstory. We went to the same high school, although we didn't know each other. You dropped out in grade 10, but your grandfather, every month, he would take you to the bank and he would deposit $10 for you for 10 years.
Yep.
So if our math is correct, after 10 years, you had $1,200.
Yeah.
And then you took that and you started Cody window cleaning.
Yep. Yeah.
You bought a squeegee, a bucket, and a dream.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And then, that was the beginning. So you were really, from a very young age, destined to be an entrepreneur. You had that fire in your belly. Do you know why?
Grew up very poor with a single mom. She was self-employed. She cleaned homes for a living, and I would have to go with her to clean the homes. So that was kind of, just
your training.
Yeah, just working. I guess working for yourself was something that kind of made sense.
Yeah. Well, it was shown onto you, right? So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So in hard work, and I wouldn't have called it entrepreneurship when I left school to clean windows. I would have called it like survival.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was focused on, was just making enough money to maybe buy a car, maybe rent a house, that kind of thing. So
lots of trial and error along the way, right?
Oh yeah, tons, and still a lot. So, but that's okay. Like, that's part of the fun. Yeah, I don't like using the word failure. Like, to me, that you're just learning.
Yeah,
more
absolutely.
than failing, or you're just changing
lessons.
paths. Yeah. So anyways, I don't like the word failure, but
now along the way, I like to talk about in this video series about struggle.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing I think most of us can relate to, and it helps connect us, and that's where we learn.
Yeah.
So tell me about your biggest business struggle so far.
So probably for us, the biggest one was June 2013. Our son passed away. We had 3 companies on the go at that point. Things were going quite well. And so when you're an entrepreneur, your personal life is your business life. So you asked about a business struggle, but
it's a life struggle.
Yeah, it's a life struggle, which turns into a business struggle. And so for myself personally, I was in bed for about 9 months, couldn't really get out of bed. And we ended up having to have a fire. Well, it's either go bankrupt or sell your companies and try to survive. So at the time, we sold our 3 companies. And then after 9 months, kind of, started being able to cope. And at that point, we had sold one company, which was called Monster Halloween. And one of the people buying it was Debbie Weinstein, very prominent lawyer.
Yes.
And I didn't know who Debbie was. She was just somebody who wanted to buy our Halloween business. But when she was doing it, she saw the technology that we were using to run the business. And she asked, "Where did you get this technology?" And I said, "Well, we actually made it because we couldn't find anything that was any good." And she said, "My God, you need to be selling this. It's worth more than anything you've ever done." And I said, "Well, Debbie, I know nothing about technology." So, but that kind of, At that time, I wasn't ready, but
Yeah.
then, by August of 2014, told the kids we were going to start a software company. They thought that was hilarious, and we started the Better Software Company. So, anyways, and go back to failure. I wouldn't say you sell the companies that's failure. That's just managing through a process and
the reason
doing what you
was
need to do.
because you couldn't put in the time at that time.
Oh no, we were losing a lot of money. Like it was crazy. So it was the companies were falling apart. So we had, if you look at, so Nick passed away in June. We had millions of dollars worth of inventory to open up all these Halloween stores across the country. And with that business, they're temporary Halloween stores. You open up September, October.
Yeah.
So I would have had to find the energy to go out and open about 30 stores across Canada. So go out and meet with 30, when you can't even get out of bed.
No. Yeah.
You can't do that. Cody Party we had franchises across the country. So again, you're dealing, people's livelihoods are kind of depending on you. And Cody
and you're not
Mobile.
able.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyways, it fell apart. And so we decided the best thing to do was to sell it to people who could hopefully take it and make a go of it.
So the lessons that you've learned from that struggle and some of the shifts that you had to make, what are some of the ones that really stand out to you?
Probably the biggest one is, you're faced, when you're an entrepreneur, you're faced with a lot of problems and a lot of issues. And it kind of puts things into perspective. You can kind of work through anything and figure anything out. So I think I'm a lot more relaxed about problems. Have more fun with them, So before you'd get a little more stressed about problems, and now kind of look for them and try to solve them, and a little more process driven instead of, dealing with having anxiety about it or whatever.
Yeah, and I know you and your wife Natalie have started up some organizations from that experience as well.
Yeah, we Say No for Nick, so that's a charitable organization. So that's a big one we work on. An offshoot of that would be Kaleidoscope of Hope. So we get involved. That has to do with youth substance abuse, but also mental, any mental health issues. And we think the two are very close together.
Absolutely, they are linked.
Yeah.
And then a fentanyl drug testing challenge is something that...
the Prime Minister is spearheading the first time ever that Health Canada is awarding any money to help solve a problem. So they asked me to chair a selection committee. So we're looking to find kind of one person or entity with the best drug testing technology for fentanyl, and they'll be awarded $1 million. So it's a bit of a process going through, but it's amazing.
Much needed.
Oh, it's massive. Yeah. One person dies every 2 hours. And I think one family is destroyed every 2 hours, and then one community is impacted every 2 hours, and that's just in Canada.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a massive problem.
Those are big numbers. Advice for someone starting up their own business. Any quick tips?
Yeah, I would say first thing you got to do is read EMyth. EMyth Revisited.
Yeah?
Yeah, I bought it for many, many entrepreneurs. And I have people who cry after they've read the book, or it's an amazing book. Because I think you have to think about, I want to start my own business. Well, why do you want to start your own business?
Yeah.
And I think EMyth is a really easy read. Are you somebody who they call it more of a technician. So are you somebody that just likes the craft? So they kind of tell you technician, manager, entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs or dreamers tend not to make good managers, and they're definitely not technicians. So I think know who you are yourself before you start on the journey.
That you don't do anything alone, right?
Yeah.
So if you know what your strengths are, you know what other expertise you need to build something.
Yeah.
Can we have some fun with some rapid fire questions?
Okay.
A little bit, get to know Steve Cody a little bit more. Who's your favorite superhero?
I'm not really into superheroes, but I'll say Batman, I guess.
Mine is Oprah, so it doesn't have to be a Marvel comic.
We did the costume business for a long time. So
that was a big seller, was it?
Oh yeah, Batman was good. Star Wars was really good, yeah.
How about your favorite food indulgence?
You know what? My wife makes a really good lasagna.
Yeah?
Yeah, my daughter now as well. So.
Oh, good. Passing along the family recipe. Someone that you admire?
I think of Richard Branson maybe from as an entrepreneur. I like a lot of what he stands for. Yeah.
Interested in his flight to outer space?
No.
Something that not too many people know about you, Steve. You got a secret hobby that not too many people know about?
I don't have a hobby. My hobby is
Your
work.
hobby is your work. Of
Yeah,
course it is.
so that's why people kind of think you do other things. That's literally all I do is work. So
What's something that always makes you smile, Steve?
I think just seeing other people happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think
contagious.
That's, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your definition of success in one sentence?
Success is to me has nothing to do with money, and it has everything to do with being surrounded by people that are happy.
Yeah.
So that's when I go into work and there's energy in the office, you can feel it. I don't know, that feels pretty good.
Success.
Yeah,
Must feel
I think
pretty
so.
good. You can learn more about Steve, ruckify.com. He's got some great posts on LinkedIn. That's your main platform.
That's the only one.
The only one on social media. He's got some great articles. Check them out. Ruckify.com and thebettersoftwarecompany.com.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Wow, that was amazing. I was so inspired by our guests today. I hope you were too. We've got some really cool things coming up. If you have any comments or questions, please contact me. My information's below, and we'll see you next time.